TV47 Weekend Edition. We, of course, have been covering the events taking place throughout the country with regard to the final journey of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And, of course, like I mentioned just before the break, we have a very interesting discussion really talking about grief. And also we'll be talking about leaders and where leaders come from and how leaders get to be admired so much, just the way we've seen over the years and, of course, the last couple of days with the former Premier Raila Odinga. And so today in studio, it's good to have you, Dr. After so many years.
Imagine 2017 is the last time we shared a set.
Imagine, here we from 2017, but God is good, we are here and alive.
Always,
yes,
always,
yes. Thank you so much. Dr. Susan Gitao is actually a top psychologist. And of course, she has vast knowledge about so many things. We'll be discussing that. And of course, as you can see on the screen over there, hi, my dear. Oh, we miss you here in studio.
Good to see you.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm strong and very safe.
I know it's been a really tough 2 days for Kenya and the continent. Maybe Pastor Sue, you can just give us your feeling about everything that has been happening this week in the country with the passing of Baba.
Oh, I think it has not been easy for Kenyans, especially during this time of mourning, knowing that Raila Odinga has been a very great icon and a hero in this country. And we are really mourning and for the sudden loss of his life. But what you can say is that everything works for good for those who love the Lord and those who are called by his purpose. And I want to thank God for the years that God gave Right Honorable Raila to live in this country and in this world, and the impact that he has had, not only to Kenya, but also worldwide. And so I want to say that pole to the family and also to the party ODM and any other person who has felt the grief and the pain of losing, Raila. We want to say that we really mourn with them and we are together with them and we are on our knees for them, that it shall be well even tomorrow, even as we lay him to rest, that God will comfort the hearts of the Kenyans and give them even the support that they need at this particular time. And so I want to say we are sending our condolences to the family and also to everyone who has been a great supporter of Honorable Raila. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Sue, for that opening remark. We appreciate that. Yeah, stay with us. We'll be, of course, needing your input as we continue with the conversation. You are not here, but you'll nail it, but you're here with us in spirit. All right, Dr. Coming to you. Yes, you're a professional, but of course, Raila Odinga has touched so many people. What can you say about him and the passing of this great icon?
Well, like you say, I may be that psychologist or the mental health expert, but I'm one of the admirers of the late Raila Odinga, because they are the ideals he believed in, and I believe in them. Like when we talk about fight for justice, especially for the marginalized, the minority group, and the low communities. And I guess that's where my heart is.
Yes.
And I also loved the way he loved this country. Honestly speaking, I'm looking around and I'm wondering, who is this leader that loved Kenya the way he did? And I don't know.
That's a hard question.
Oh, yes, yeah, because I haven't seen. Maybe some will emerge after this. And I was in denial personally.
Yes.
We kept arguing with my brother. No, don't joke with such things. Social media can't say anything. They've been saying he's dead for a long time, but that is social media. He said, this time, I don't think it's true. And I said, what is that? In fact, I denied. Star?
Yeah.
He showed me and he said, you can see this? I said, no, can't you see this is not S?
Oh, really?
This is a dollar sign. Can you imagine the denial we talk about? And for sure, within 30 minutes, then the news all over. And I was actually going to do a very serious assignment somewhere, but I told God, give me the grace to finish. I was taking an old mama back to her home in Kandara. I was going to reunite the family. And you can imagine I'm having all this. When will I be done with this to know whether this is still true?
Yeah.
And personally, I've broken down twice.
Oh, okay.
And especially when I saw Winnie, as a daughter who's lost a dad, I know what that like feels like. And also seeing her, and I'm like, she died, you know, the father died in her hands.
Yes, yes.
But I also saw some mother strength
Yes.
that I believe most daughters do get.
Yes, yes.
And I was like, wow, there goes somebody who might really like drive the mantle of her late father.
Yeah.
Then looking at Ida, I was looking at how we do sometimes I ignored.
Yes.
And people can come and push all over. But I'm admiring the person I'm seeing in her, trying to really protect the family. And I guess that's why it came out very clearly that despite Raila being very vocal and all over,
yes, yes.
it was a very stable family.
Yeah, yeah.
So
he held it down at home.
Yes, yeah. So I was able to see now Ida. And what she's saying, I said, Kenyans, just listen to that lady. She's very sensible.
Yes.
I think we shared a profession.
What really struck out about her and her speech about her being strong in that person?
Oh, yes. And you know, the love life.
Oh, yeah.
Even when he was in detention, she still stayed on. And then holding the children together. And, you know, I think I love the way she said, let's mourn. I know you loved him. We also loved him. But you can imagine the family is even closer, that let's mourn Raila in peace.
Yes.
This is what came to my mind. Every time he fought for justice, that is what he was looking for, peace. Every time he raised a voice against something that was not going right, what he was looking for is peace. Every time he gave a handshake, it was peace he was looking for. But did Kenyans see that?
Maybe we overlooked, took it for granted, maybe.
And looking at the way he took his personal life, so private, very private.
Yes, yes.
Like, I don't want to bother you with my illness. I don't want to bother you with my personal issues.
Imagine that.
Let me handle it. I don't know, when I saw his body being moved from India, and even the pictures and the stories, I just looked at a man who's doing his job. You know, for Kenya.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, don't worry about me. Wherever I go for my medication, for my treatment, I don't have to go to, like, who even has the real name of the hospital. You don't have to.
Yes, yes.
You don't have to bother with me.
And these are things he was struggling for so many years.
And he kept saying, Kenya is bigger than any one of us.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's very sad. I wish we did some of these birthdays for him when he was still alive. I wish we did some of these celebrations for him. And I hope Kenya would learn.
Okay.
Because if Raila would just wake up and open his eyes and see probably all the statements that would run over social media against him, not for him,
against him,
he would be shocked. So, you mean Kenyans love me this much?
Yes, yes.
Looking at how even his political, maybe opponents treated him and seeing, wow, these people are not pretending.
Yeah.
They're touched by this.
Yeah,
by
everybody has come, has come together.
Oh, yes. And then I was just looking at the way today Kenya is not really driving stuff on tribal lines because of that voice of Raila Odinga.
All right.
And my prayer is that it's not just for political family or community. What about even all of us, wherever we are? And I'm also looking at the young ones, and I looked at Winnie saying that my father didn't die, as you are saying, or it was being said on social media.
Right, right.
He died strong. He died a gentleman. And what I want to tell Kenyans today, don't listen sometimes to rumors or what you say. The family always has the truth. And it's the family that chooses to say the truth and the way they want to say it.
And when.
And when.
Right.
And I saw a family that is really well prepared, to be very honest.
Yes.
Because when you say, bury me within 72 hours, you can only say what you have known for all the years, not what you concoct, not what you make up.
Absolutely.
And so I saw a lot of authenticity in the way they were talking about their father, the husband to Ida, even the political leaders that were very close to him, you know, breaking down. And I think I loved. I also, as a psychologist, admired the cultural diversity because in loss and grief process, we say those who are able to validate their emotions, express, whatever it may be, they heal faster.
Oh, they heal faster.
Oh, yes. So you might find them talking and you're like, hey, this guy was crying the other minute. Why are they?
Yes.
But those of us who repress, and when I say this, we have communities here, including my own community. Yes. We are like, first we watching, observing, yes, but we are repressing. Cry later or even have it rough later. And so can we appreciate the things that are done well? You could see there was no fear. Some communities you wouldn't even like touch the body, yes, but you could see they didn't have an issue. You could see Winnie touching the father, saying goodbye, probably even talking to the father. Yes, yes. And for sure that person, I always ask people, if they were alive, would you touch them? Yes. So when they are gone, they can't breathe like you. Why are you afraid of them?
Why are you afraid of them? I like that, Daktari. All right, thank you so much for that. We'll get back to you, but let me just hear out Pastor Sue. Daktari has said something very important, that she, when she had the news, she didn't know, or she doesn't know up until now, all of us don't actually know, if we'll ever get a leader like the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, a leader who loves Kenya so much with all his heart, such that he is sick, battling so many things, but still he puts, the country first. What makes such a leader, from your point of view, also as a pastor?
I think it comes with the values that we cultivate right from childhood. That's why it's very important to come from a family whereby values are instilled in you right from when you are young, before you are 12 years, and during teenage, because that's where we build the character, or character formation is formed. And I think the family of Raila Amolo Odinga becomes an example to so many families, that it is possible to keep your family together and make sure that you fight your battles without getting, as Dr. Susanna said, without causing a lot of attention. And that's what we have seen with our leader, our hero. He actually kept his family intact, though he was on the limelight and at the topmost position in Kenya. He made sure that his family remained, intact. When I look at the values of his family and how they have been working together with Ida, it's an example of how families should be run. That it doesn't matter the position that you are, whether in government, whether whatever position you are, you need to ensure that you get your strength and put your family together, because that's what I can see that Raila did. His family was intact despite the challenges that came in this family. They remained together. And so one of the things I would also urge the men and the women who are listening to us is to make sure that they're examples to their children and also leave a legacy in such a way that there is that coordination between the husband and a wife, and the support that we have seen the two working together. I think I'm amazed. If there is one leader I will respect all the days of my life, is Raila Amolo Odinga and Ida. And because they are a good example of families that I really, stand for, seeing that he has never had any scandal, with any woman, anything about, hearing him there and there. He kept his family together, put up together, with his children. And this is an example that it is possible to fight the battles that come in family, much more as you have a very top, leadership position in the country and wherever you may be. I think for me, that's a very big lesson that we need to do. And the values that we had, we've never seen any scandal with them, maybe Ida doing this or that. They have remained united. They have remained united together all the years that they came to the limelight. We've never had any, or Ida standing and saying this, or Odinga saying this and this about the wife. They have remained an example to all families, those who are old and those who are also, coming up. And I want to recommend Ida, because the woman plays also a very big role in making sure that the family stands strong despite the challenges that come in every marriage. And I think that's a lesson that we need to learn from that family, that family comes first before your political position, before money, before fame, and all these things that we all die to have. So for me, this is a family that is a real example of what family should be from the beginning to the end. And I want to thank God that Raila has left his family intact and there is no gap left, because the children are strong enough. Like Dr. Susan was saying, Winnie Odinga looks very strong and a girl who has proper sense of direction. And for us, that can only tell you that the father had instilled enough value and confidence in them. They were affirmed, they were given attention, they were given the love, the affection that they deserve. And because of that, we can see the strength even in their mother and also in their children. And for that, I want to say this is commendable. Thank you.
Dr. Sue, is it Dr. Susan? Is it,
Pastor Sue, Dr.
Pastor
Sue.
Sue, Dr. Sue.
That should be my next brand.
Yeah, you should.
Wow.
Dr. Sue. Let me ask you, so is it right to say that for a leader of Raila's stature, that those values have to start from somewhere? Like, you cannot be a leader out there, you know, successful in so many of your endeavors, whether you're a CEO, whoever you are, and your home is not intact. Are you in agreement with what Pastor Sue is saying?
I am in agreement.
Okay. Pastor Sue, I know you want to chime into that one.
No, let my colleague answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's ought to be. Look at what Winnie said.
Yeah.
My father never told me so much. He just had to do what he wanted me to copy.
Oh.
And in human development studies or training, and especially in our work and the teachers, if you want a child to behave in a certain way, if you want them to have certain values, then you don't have to tell them, do this, do this. Just do that, and they copy. And I'm sure parents that are watching us can attest to this.
Yes.
So now it's a challenge. In his death, it's a challenge for the other leaders. I loved the brother who brought out the two wives.
Yes.
Look at how we didn't even have issues, and that has been him. Raila, we haven't seen another, and I want to believe if there were, he would have actually, the kind of a guy he was, he would have brought them out. So it's actually one thing I like telling people, that we get to know you more after you die.
How sad. I don't know if that's a good thing, though.
No, it's a good thing on this side.
Yes.
May you prepare well.
Oh, yeah.
Because we'll definitely know you after you die. And people are so afraid of talking lies after somebody dies. Because you don't know what you're dealing with, honestly.
Yes.
So they end up trying their level best to speak the truth.
Yes.
I also admired how our president and even the former president came in. For me, I saw sons. I saw orphans also of a political father. And I didn't see any of them pretending, by the way, because we watch a lot. And looking at Raila's death, nobody saw it coming, including himself. As much as we can say many things, sometimes the truth about life and death, it's God who knows. But you could see, it's a shock. You could see I don't want to say disorganization, but you could see the disbelief, because you saw a whole convoy of cabinet ministers going without even looking at the timing.
Yes.
Will we make it there before he gets to Kenya?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I also say, that at this time, we don't live as two communities, the political community and we say the others, the Kenyans.
The citizens.
The citizens.
Yeah.
You know? No, you could see. And that is what, when you talk about loss and grief, breaking of bad news. And in this country, what makes me feel very sad, sometimes even the immediate family members don't know.
Yeah.
The social media is the first one.
Imagine. You just see your
Our
family
big
members'
mainstream screen. Yeah, since Raila died, I haven't taught my students. I teach at African Nazarene University, both postgraduate students and the undergraduate students. And I was telling them, this is what you'll be dealing with out there.
Right.
In fact, there's one particular student who is a neighbor to Raila's family in Karen. And I was telling her, I'm sure you know Winnie. So I want to hear that you've been to that home after all this and you're working with her, because she must become the best version of herself. Because if the process, you don't get to closure, you don't get to deal with many things that we read on social media.
Yes.
You know, and you know, Raila was real. He was himself. Because even at time, he was himself. He would just say it as it is. What you are afraid of saying, Raila said it. And people would go ahead and say, wow, what he said was true. And I'm looking at this person who never wanted any enemies in his life. And I'm looking at a guy who could tell you, Betty, thank you, you know you lied to me, but don't worry, that one is behind us. Let's work.
Not
that
once,
was the
not
guy.
Twice.
That was the guy.
Yeah.
But how was Raila looked at by many people? And that is why I'm saying, can we change the narrative of maybe how we talk about our leaders? Can we push more for leadership? You know, leadership is influencing, right? Whatever you want people to have, you do it, or whatever machinery you use to make sure they get there. Other than fighting so much for power that I command, you must do. We don't have in a discussion. I have a student, an intern, that recently left my practice after his attachment. A very low, I would say a low stature young man from Kenyatta University. And he was crying and crying. And I asked him, Maxwell, what's going on? He said, you don't know. When my father died, this is the man who saved the situation.
Oh, okay. In reference to Baba?
Oh, yes. I'm like, wow. You mean he could go that low? Not forgetting Kibra. You know Kibra, we were used to seeing him there, going everywhere. I looked at where I come from in Thika. There's one lady I admire her values, I admire her ways of life, Mombingaru. And for me, I kept asking, where is she and what's happening in her? Because Raila raised her all the way to go to Iyala. And I think the last speech he did in Thika, it's like he gave the whole history of why we shouldn't think tribal at all. We should see Kenya first, see yourself as a Kenyan first, before you go to your ethnic group, because it's also important. I'm sure we're all admiring and learning one or two tips from the Western community or the Luo community about how they mourn and how they celebrate. Because as you celebrate and mourn at the same time, you're being authentic. There are moments of celebration. Without this guy, this and this wouldn't have happened. And now that he's gone, who is going to? So there's that, you know, like today I'm low, tomorrow I'm high. This minute I'm saying good things, the other one I'm like, oh, this Kenya. And so I want to tell Kenyans what we are going through is actually a normal reaction phase. That some of us, some of us are still in denial. By the way, they are still insisting. Who is that doctor?
Who did that?
Who did that?
That they did not do.
Of course, there are strings of many things that are happening, a lot of comedy. But there's one thing Raila made me happy for. He never bothered on what people are saying on social media. That was a very unique leader. He never allowed such things to bring him down. That I want to know what Betty is saying down there. Some of the young people that comment, but there's some of the people that comment down there. Some of them are sick, I always say, sick in their own way. Some of them are trying to find the truth in their own ways. You cannot allow yourself as a leader to be pulled down to that level. And I've always said to the young people, sometimes when they know the truth, it shocks them. Right now, are you seeing all that flashy flooding of messages? No, they're like, oh, by the way, what did I say? Was that true? I'm seeing a different thing. Like, hapo nilikosea. And they're very nice, because where they know they've made a mistake, they always say. Just like the Muzee who chappered, the Muzee from Kilifi who once chappered.
The back.
He said, I'm happy today. The media is here for me to say sorry. I wonder how many leaders who did him wrong are going to say
sorry. Pastor Sue, also coming into the conversation with regard to, you know, the values of, you know, leadership. There's so much, like, and what's where Dr. Sue is saying also here in studio is that, you know, Raila was able to bring himself down to literally everybody. If you hear about the stories that people have about him, from, you know, the ule mtu wa chini kabisa mpaka, you know, to the who's who. Like, what can you say with regard to that and good leadership and good leaders?
I think it all comes from within. Remember, it's out of the heart that the mouth speak, and also it's out of the heart that you behave. And that tells you the values that he held. That's something that we need to emulate. That is important for us, even as we live, to cultivate some values, and not only for ourselves, but also to impact the people that are around us. If you look at the people that Raila has worked with them, if they were genuine, they were impacted. If they were impacted with those values that he had, and especially the children. I think one of the family that would say a family that has stuck, the children have never come to the limelight with a wrong picture, is the family of Raila. And I want to thank him, because that shows that he was not just a leader in the national level, but also in his family. He led well, together with his wife, because the leading comes together as a husband and a wife. And I think that's something that we need to really stand for, that the first legacy we need to leave is to our children, to our wives, the people that were very close to us, before we can even go out there and be, praised for what we did and what we said. But the biggest legacy for me is when it comes out from your own family members, and especially the nuclear family. And for me, that's what I see that Raila has been, because seeing this family being the top, one of the best, I would say the best and the topmost families among others that we have had, I think it has been a role model in all dimensions. That tells you this is a family that used to talk together, because communication is very important in family, and reminding each other about the family norms that the family upholds. And this tells me that this is something that we can also cultivate, no matter how down we are or what we think that we are going through. There is still hope for every person. You can also cultivate that, because if he was able to do that where he's in this country, why not me? Why not you? So those values are very important, because he never lived for himself. He lived for others. And I think that's something that we need to cultivate, because we find most of us, especially most of us who are at the top, we are very selfish. Life rotates between me, myself, and I. And so we need to get out of that cocoon and get now to impact other people, the people that surround us, the people that we lead, the people that we actually direct. They should also have a bit of what? That impartation must also be felt by every person who is in leadership. And I think that's he's a role model, and he was a hero, and he's a man who will be remembered by generations and generations to come. I don't think Raila will ever move out of the minds of people. I was talking to a child with PP2, and I was asking, who is Raila? And they were telling me he was a prime minister, They also remember, as long as a child can talk, they know that there was somebody who was living, who was called Raila. And so this tells you the impartation that he had, not only to the political arena, but also to people in general, whether you are of his tribe or not. For him, I see him a man who has left a mark that I don't know who can fit that shoe. I don't know who can fit that, because he was just unique in his own way of doing things. I remember him for the stories that he gave. He was a very good storyteller, and I love stories. I love the examples he used to give about football. Those are the things that are going around my mind. He had a lot of humor, much more as he had his own, standards. He had a lot of humor, and that humor will remain, in our minds and in our hearts. And thank God, because most of those things are on the internet, and internet does not forget. So we are able to go through them, show our children, our great-grandchildren, and talk about a hero that stood in this country as an example to all. So I really reckon him as one of the heroes in this country.
All right, Pastor Sue, I know you have to leave us, but let me just get a comment from you with regard to people who are dealing with with grief. People deal with it differently, and coming from you as a church leader, there are very many Kenyans who have been really affected by all this that has been happening in the last couple of days. How do you just make peace with the reality of what has happened?
I think one of the things that we need to understand is grief is a natural response that we need to agree that you have to go it. It's something that you just have to go through it. It's not something that you can actually avoid as long as you're in this world. And so grief is part of every human being. And one of the things that we need to talk to those who are listening to us is to understand some of these, phases that we go through when we are grieving. And one of the phases that we were taught, according to Elizabeth Kuba, is that you have to go through denial. And Dr. Susan has repeated that and that again. This can't happen. Why now? you know, why, and we wanted to choose him for this, we wanted his ideas on this. There's all that denial, because we have, even as as Dr. Susan was saying, what is happening in the social media. Some are saying probably he died in Kenya, then he was taken to India. All these things is an issue of denial. People can't believe that this great man has actually just gone. So there's that denial that is inside every person. Even when you lose a job, when you lose a partner, when you lose a child, anything that goes out of your life that you treasured so much, there's that denial. Another one is anger. You know, you say, why me? Why us? Why this time? Why me, God? Some even become angry with God. You become angry with the person who was handling this person. So all these things that we are seeing on social media, people, you know, projecting anger to the doctors, projecting anger to the politicians, you know, recording other maybe videos that were said by someone who was probably not his party. All this is anger being manifested, and it's part of the healing and the journey, you know, of grief. And people need to know, don't judge anyone. Let people express themselves the way they want. You only need to be there, just listen to them. Don't judge them, because they could be in that stage that we call, you know, anger. There's also another one which we call bargaining. If only he was in Kenya, probably this would not have happened. No, I wish he was taken to UK, or I wish he was taken to US. You know, all these things. If there's a lot of if this was done, if this was said, if this prophet was called, maybe probably we would have averted this day. So there's a lot of bargaining of if. Yes. And sometimes you may feel like there's something you'd have done if this person was alive. But I want to let us know that it is part of grief, it's part of the journey of grief, that bargaining. And it will go. Some keep on going. You keep on going forth, back and forth. Some goes again to bargaining. Others go back again to denial. Others come again to anger. And that's why you are finding there are all these emotional extremes in the social media. And that's part of the healing. And we need to understand that one we have to go. And then the fourth stage is depression. You feel that deep sadness. You feel withdrawn. You feel you don't want to talk to anyone. You just feel you want to stay alone. That's part of the journey of healing. When you have lost a dear one, when you have lost somebody that you treasured so much. So depression is part of the journey. Another thing that after depression is acceptance, that for sure this person has gone. And mostly acceptance comes probably to some when they see this man has been dropped down to the grave and the soil has been put, then you are like, you mean this person has really gone? So there's a lot of, that's when you acknowledge the reality. You move from, and others keep on moving. They are actually in the stage of acceptance. Then they go again the same cycle of denial. They go through anger. They go through bargaining. They go through depression and acceptance. And all these, as Dr. Susan was explaining, are processes of one healing. And so all these phases, one has to go through them. And we should not even suppress the feelings that we have. If you feel like crying, if you feel like shouting, if you feel like banging something, do whatever you can do and express that grief, because if you suppress it, most of the times it comes out as a disease. You find somebody getting hypertension, getting, diabetes, getting mental disorders because you suppressed that. So allow Kenyans to mourn. The only thing, don't mourn in a way that affects the other person. No fighting, no name calling. It's good we mourn responsibly. And so these are things that people who are grieving go through them. You feel that emptiness, that sadness, but crying, you talk a lot, you find them going through and through. This is part of the healing. And I want to say that this shall continue even for months. Others will go for years, especially for the children and the relatives who are very close to them. They might mourn even for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, even 10 years. You find even people mourning even after 20 years. So let's allow people to go through the grief phases without us judging them, condemning them. Even when they talk much, they're also releasing that tension. Instead of suppressing it, then it comes out being something else that may destroy the livelihood of that person. So those are a few stages. Maybe Dr. Susan can add a little bit because she's an authority in that.
Doctor.
But that's what we learned.
Good. You're really, even the doctor said you're good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pastor Sue, for joining us tonight from Eldoret. We look forward to having you next week. And God willing, of course, and say hi to Pastor Munen. I'm sure he's somewhere around there.
Yeah, he's just around me. I just want to say to all the Kenyans who are listening to us, as we lay our Father, Honorable.
Well, we lost her there. She had some minimum time remaining on her Zoom, but we really appreciate you, Pastor Sue, for joining us. So, Dr. Susan, let's talk about what she's just said. You received the news, and you're a professional, you're a mental health expert, you're a psychologist, but you still shed tears. How do you grieve, you know, I don't know how to say responsibly, but how do you grieve for somebody like him who people just know and love his being as a person, and you don't really know him like one-on-one, like a proper, like this is somebody who I can give a call?
No, I just want to be very honest, especially with the viewer. Even when I shed tears, did you hear what I said? That he had values and ideals.
Got you.
I believed him. So without even knowing, you're basically coming inward and imagining sometimes if it were your own death.
Yeah.
You know? The things maybe people have gotten wrong about you.
Got you.
And now when you're dead is when they are knowing about you.
Imagine.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
But in that moment, you don't get to really think that's what it is. Sometimes it's like I said, when I saw Winnie, and my heart was caught with grief. And then I remembered the demise of my father when I least expected it, you know. I'm celebrating my graduation.
Oh, that's what happened?
Yes, yeah. And then that night, I'm telling people, you guys, I know you think I don't have a father, but I have a father who has been in Mathari Mental Hospital for the last 20 plus years. But he's still there. That night, he dies.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
Well, that's a story I don't think Dr. Susan, you've actually...
No, it's there.
So
If you go to social media, maybe a lot of my stories, I think right now are out there.
Yes.
And I saw Winnie, who was ready to come back to Kenya with the father. Because that's what was happening.
Yeah.
And then he's gone. I saw Ida, who was telling Kenya, Baba is well. He's actually coming home.
Yeah.
Just like me, I was there telling people big time.
Yeah, that I have a dad.
I have a dad. You guys, you think I'm brought up by a single mom?
Yeah.
Because my mother had many names that people had given her. And I was there like trying to let people know this father who's been in Mathari has brought up this daughter.
Wow.
You know? And then the following day, when I'm going, after a week of promising him, Daddy, I'm bringing you, I know you love milk. I told him I'm going to bring you milk. I'm going to bring you a piece of the cake. Only to go to the hospital and you're told, can you go to Muthaiga police station and find out? At that time, you don't want to think. That's why it's good to be calm and know the facts. Because later on, I was asking myself, why Muthaiga, then City Mortuary, you know? I didn't have the moment to ask questions. But now, when many years have passed on, I don't even know where I would trace my father's grave in Langata Cemetery. You're asking questions. Then what happened to your dad? You know? And sometimes I keep saying I will know the facts, but I don't know. And even if I don't.
So up until today, you've not...
I didn't know what happened to my father. But he had a very deep cut over here. As I had, I was too scared to view him. I was very young, you know? So what I'm trying to tell you...
back to, I'm just curious about...
To Mathari, and I do go there.
Yeah, just ask questions about
maybe I'll go
what happened.
And go to his files, yeah? But there are doctors I have met that used to treat my father, but I haven't asked them. Anyway, sometimes when you're able to have closure, you can move on. So anyone who is crying right now, one, it could be identification.
Got you.
It could be imagination. It could be unfinished business you had that we'd never even got into. Like I know very many people, ODM members, and many Kenyans. Who is this that he passed the
torch?
Bantutu. Yeah, nani alipewa hiyo torch? Yeah, he didn't say anything because even him, he didn't see himself going. And some people are very mad at him.
For just going.
For just going. But I am looking at a man who just did his job. You know, looking at what we call extrasensory perception. We do also have that as Pastor Sue. They talk about the spiritual eyes, as we also talk about the extrasensory perception, where you try to piece up, you know, information here and there. And even know why people are asking these questions, why people are saying these, because they are trying to piece up things that they are not working out. Right? And we say it is okay It is okay for Kenyans to ask questions, but it is not okay to keep asking the same questions and no answers. You need to ask yourself, from here, where do I go, or how do I move on? The other thing is guilt. Some people cry because they're guilty.
Oh, they did something or they did not do something.
Yeah, because this is work I've done. And I tell people, would you like to tell them something before we lower them, you know, to the grave? And they say, you know, forgive me. You remember the money that was lost in the house, the 50,000, it's me who took.
Oh, gotcha. Also,
and I'm praying that tomorrow before Raila Amolo Odinga is actually laid to his final rest home, that there are people who could write letters and say sorry. Not to really him, but even to God. Eh?
Yes, yes.
There are people who can express whatever they feel, this was wrong. This was wrong.
Yes, yes.
Like there are some people already who are free because they've already, we can say they've actually put it right. You know, this was not fair.
Yeah.
But now we can do it even within 72 hours.
And I think for him especially, there should be so many people
I'm telling you, there are people right now who are feeling a very big sense of relief, whether in the political, corporate, or whoever. I saw a young man who was actually saying, Baba, even in his sickness, because everybody who has what we call empathy and compassion, you can see someone who is suffering. But he kept pushing himself. Come to this birthday, come to this wedding. Baba was there.
Yeah.
Oh, kuna choo imefungika Kibra, Baba was there. You know, oh, there is unga imepanda, Baba was there.
Yeah, yeah.
But how many of us were thinking Baba also needed time? So I'm also like appealing to people who may not have that courtesy of giving the family enough time to mourn, process, and grieve their loved one, please to do so. Because it's in that peace and quiet moment that you can get in touch with reality as it is.
Yes, yes.
But when there's noise all over, life will move on.
Do you think that noise, especially right now for maybe the Odinga family, is really hindering them, you know, just coming to terms with everything that's happening? There's a lot of that, a lot of noise around them.
Of
and
course.
what does it remove from the process, especially for the family?
What we say, getting in touch with the truth and the true emotions. If I'm feeling angry, do I have that time to be in touch with that anger? If I am so afraid, I don't even know what I'm afraid of. But if I'm given time to be me, to be on my own, and that's why I'm saying I'm grateful for certain things that have happened, done by the state, because like, when did they sleep? When did they rest? We only saw Winnie come back, give the mother the heart.
Yes, yes.
You know? Then from there, does anybody ask, when did they go to sleep? When did they take the breakfast? When did they hold each other tightly as a family? Are we denying them that? But my prayer is, because like I've said, communities mourn and grieve differently. I guess there'll be that period that the Luo community allows. And my prayer is that they'll be allowed.
Yes, yes.
And what I learned, even when Winnie is basically young, I think she understands everything that is supposed to happen in the grieving and mourning process. The other thing is the noise. I just want to encourage the Odinga's family. Sometimes you can't stop the noise outside, but you can block it from interfering with the inner you. Just like I've seen with Aida, I've also seen it with Winnie. It's not once I want to imagine Winnie wanted to break down openly, but maybe she kept remembering some of the words from the father. I remained strong, even when my body was saying no for this country. You can also push. But when you're not in that crowd, when you're not in that public domain, just be yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to wail, if you want to yell, you want to scream, just do it. If you want to say the things you want to say it. Because sometimes, if you deny yourself that expression, because we say mourning is expression of the loss. and grief is the experience itself. So the two of them, like for now, are going concurrently. You're mourning at some point, expressing how you're feeling, what you're thinking, but at the same time, you are getting in touch with some other pain that only you who knows. And that is when I say, do we think about the family?
Yes.
Because as much as Raila Amolo Odinga was the first prime minister, was our Baba,
Yes.
our Tinga, our everything, he was somebody's husband. He was somebody's daddy. He was somebody's grandfather. He was somebody's uncle, somebody's brother. You know? What are some of the things we can do right now, whoever we may be, that can make their grieving and their mourning process worse?
Yes.
And that's why I'm telling you from my heart, I don't belong to Odingas, but I have very special gratitude to what the state of this country did for Raila Amolo Odinga, because it would have been a little bit hectic, where you can't stop people, you know. I am a very special admirer of the military, because I have worked with them since 2012. And I just love the way they're able to do their thing, you know.
Discipline.
Oh, yes.
Organization.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I'm sure we've been able to see that.
Oh, yes, yeah. And sometimes I long to see the rest of the security, maybe fraternity, just be like them. You lose nothing.
Yes, yes, yes.
By maintaining discipline, by being calm, because the way we lost lives in what is on Thursday, right?
Kasarani.
Yes, Kasarani.
Yeah.
Because I have lived in a slum environment, and people from such neighborhoods, they react more than respond. It's like you hear something, they just, how do you treat such people if you understand them? You know, and when you create an environment of composure, of calmness, they also comply. Because if there is any like back push and pull, the way the brain is wired, because they are always living in a cycle of uncertainties.
On the edge.
Always.
Yes.
They're not like you who can prepare to do 1, 2, 3 things. They have many things to. They love Baba, but look at what they did when they went to Karen.
Yes.
Oh, there are some avocados here.
Yes.
They're not even ripe, you know, because they do not use a lot of the thinking, analyzing, critical thought process like the rest of us probably who have gone through these traumatic experiences. We have healed them, no. So can we get to a level of sometimes trying to understand? There was a young man you saw at the airport, JKIA, saying, Raila, even in your death, without a passport, I've been able to to come to JKIA, thinking for you to get to.
Imagine that.
So someone can laugh at them, but you can see that is one person who had that passion. I have to be there. I have to see Baba.
And it means the world to them.
And that's why I'm telling you one thing I'm very happy about. That even yesterday, when we could see all these people, are they going to queue and view the body? They did.
And they did.
And then the security was the last. So all I ask is that this time, the words of Mama Ida, let us mourn and let us pay tribute to Raila Amolo Odinga in peace.
In peace.
So whatever you're doing, saying, is it peaceful? Is it giving the family peace?
I think that actually would mean so much to him if we actually adhere to the things that he tried to teach us when he was alive. As we wind up, Dr. I just want to ask you, for the leaders who want to emulate this man, I mean, it's so hard really to fill up these shoes. I don't even think there's anybody who's going to be of that stature, really. What are the small things, or what are the things or tenets of maybe advice that you can give to people who want to, because we need people like him, really. We can't just say now it's over for some good leadership and everything. Yeah.
I think for me, even if I bring this loss and grief topic to the family level, because that is what Raila left us.
Yes.
Thinking about the family. In a family where children were not behaving well and the parent dies, when they sit together, they ask, you are drinking so much. You know, you wasted money. Now that Baba is not there or Mom is not there, what are you going to do different? And for me, for an icon like Raila, it's just asking. He lived for democracy. He lived for social justice. He believed in freedom of expression with respect, responsibility. For the leaders, for me, if I were asked, each one of them that had a conversation with Raila, what is it that he said that for sure you can see is the truth?
Yes, yes.
Like when he said, people didn't like me when I said yes to working together. But I never wanted Kenya to be like Somalia, to be like South Sudan. He meant it. So for you, what sacrifice as a leader are you making to ensure that Kenya lives the way Raila had envisioned? And for me, Raila, the way he's been mourned by the world,
Yes, yes.
we've never forgotten Martin Luther King, the voice of freedom of expression, the voice of democracy. We've never forgotten, you know, Nelson Mandela.
Yes, yes.
Why? The voice of forgiveness in the face of pain that you did not deserve. So Raila also brought out that face of forgiveness.
Yes, yes.
And people thought he was just a joker when he would see some things, when he would do some things. And so whatever ideals Raila lived for, and Kenya needs them like yesterday, the only way to pay special maybe respect and tribute to Raila is to write down that he lived for this, he believed in this. And for sure, however much we denied for a long, long time, we have seen by the way he has been treated by the world at this time.
Yes,
I want to imagine, Betty, if Raila never had written in his will 72 hours. We would have who is who in this country.
Yes.
But he had his special reasons. And especially because Raila knew he had a very big following. And he knew one day, even whoever never believed in him, history has been written and nobody rubs history. That he was an influencer, nobody can dare to ignore, even if they would try to.
Yes, yes.
So it's just doing what that man believed in, just like in a family. If you saw that your father never wanted you like to drink alcohol, to take bangi, miraa, or beat your spouse, whatever it is, or steal, then after they are gone, they're even stronger in their graves. They are stronger in their graves. Why am I saying that? They will never come back and tell you, I told you not to do that. Now look at what is happening.
The responsibility, the burden is
They will never. The burden is heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah? I've told you we fear the dead more than the living.
Yes, yes.
And for sure, haven't you seen it, Betty? That's it, because you start reflecting. And in retrospect, you start asking, when I am gone, will people talk about me the way they have?
Yes.
Will they treat me the way he has? You know, even looking at him going to that low level of talking to young leaders like Casmuel, you know, you can see how you think you're very small, but there's somebody somewhere listening to you that you think is so high there, bridging the gap. And Raila believed in bridging the gap between the rich and the poor, the haves and the have-nots. So whoever is going to bridge that gap, even if with 0.something%, you will be respecting the Raila even in his grave.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I mean, just thinking about it, honestly, it's going to be a tough one, honestly, for us to have to not replace him, but to have somebody close to him and the shoes that he's left behind, big shoes.
And if we don't, someone will rise up from his family. Yeah.
That's another one.
Because the best knew him and the best understood him. And we will see that copy coming out. So Kenyans, are you there? Kenyans, are you there? In your own small spaces, don'ts like me, lecturers like me. Yeah. When we go ethnic in our university corridors, you know, are we actually thinking about Kenya? When we come to parenting, women, especially those who are married by male political leaders. When you go out there, and even the men whose wives are political leaders, Are you sitting there supporting that family so that one day people don't laugh at your family that is not stable, that things didn't go right? Can we also support one another, the family ideals? And then for fellow Kenyans, Raila has shown us the way. It's up to you to choose the way or not to choose the way. But in all said and done, may Baba's soul continue resting in eternal peace. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. You've honestly finished it in the best way possible. Well, Dr. Susan.
It's okay. It's okay. It's my new brand name.
You should take your the new brand name, Dr. Susan Gitau, of course, speaking to us, and we really appreciate you coming here and, of course, remembering and reflecting on Baba. And, of course, earlier we had Pastor Sue, who was joining us from Eldoret. We'll probably have her next weekend, God willing. But, of course, remember, we are here to make sure that you get everything and the live updates that are happening from Kisumu, especially tomorrow being really the last day and the final journey for Baba. We're going to be here. We have our Apollo Kamau on the ground. We have Violet Oma and, of course, my colleagues who are going to be here in studio right from 6 a.m. really to just take you through everything that's going to be happening tomorrow at the home of Raila Amolo Odinga. Thank you so much for staying with us right here on TV47. My name is Betty Kialo. Be well and be safe, and take care of one another. Good night.